Samantha from JSMA Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a cute pair of cherry blossom earrings. Now, to start off with, you're going to need to mix up your own colour of pink. You can of course go with a straight colour if you want, but I want to mix up my own custom colour, and this is Prima. I use 3 alizarin crimson and 8 white, all Prima, and that's the colour that I get. And then this is just plain white Prima. Then all you're going to do is you're going to take your pink colour of choice, and again, it's up to you what kind of pink you want. This one's a bit more of a dusty pink, so if you want something a little brighter, then of course go with that. But you want to take that, roll it out on your thickest setting, cut a square from it, and then mould that into the shape of a triangle, because this is going to be part of a skinner blend. Then you're going to take that and you're going to pop it together so that it forms a rectangle, and just trim away the extra white there and the extra little bit of pink. Then you're going to take that and you're going to make skinner blend from it. And I have done detailed tutorials in the past on how to make skinner blends. Essentially, you roll it and fold it, then roll again and fold again. And you fold the exact same way every single time. And you keep doing that, and that will turn into a blend between the two colours. Okay, and this is what you should end up with. Now, what you're going to do with that is you're going to turn that into a skinner blend plug. Also, quick thing, I have not blended this as much as you could. There's still some kind of choppiness between the colours, and that's a personal choice because I want that to be retained in the petals that I'm going to create. If you want it to be smoother, just continue rolling and it will blend out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that again the way that I have been doing it, and just pinch that together like so. And then what you're going to do is just square off each of these sides so that it's kind of a little more rectangular. And then you're going to run that through a pasta machine from either one of these short ends, stretching it out. Okay. And this is what you should end up with, a nice long piece. And this was rolled out on the middle setting of my pasta machine so that it's thinned out. Then you're going to take that and you're going to start with either the white or the pink end. It really does not matter. And you're going to go and you're going to fold that. And I'm just holding it and folding it. And this is what's going to create the skinner blend plug, and you'll just do that up the entire length like so. And the more blended your blend was, and the thinner the clay is when you start doing this, the better, or the smoother the blend will be. Just do that the whole way up like so. Okay, and then when you've done that, it might be a little wonky, that's fine. Just press down to get rid of air bubbles, and then go and kind of square that up so that it's not all over the place and is instead more of a rectangular shape. And I'm encouraging distortion in this because I want there to be imperfections in the petals. If you want things to be smoother, then try to keep things as geometric as possible throughout the process. Then what I want to do is I actually want to flip it over so that it's the white end facing up, and then I'm going to take a card and I'm going to press down, and this is going to press the lighter colours down into the darker colours like so, and that is going to create some striations which again is something that I would like to see. There you can actually see how it looks over there. Then you're going to just take that and just press that all together, and you can make some more striations if you want. I actually do want to do that, but I want to press it together so that those ones that I've already made don't open up when I go to do that. There we go. Then I'll try to do that again, but in different spots from last time, and if they overlap, that's fine. This is all about just kind of distorting the Skinner Blend plug a little. There we go. You can see there how that looks. Then press that together again, and that should do. I'm happy with that. Then this is going to be the cane that I use to create the little petal pieces. So just take that, and I do need to reduce it down so that the whole blend fits inside this little heart cutter, which is going to be what makes up our petals. I also want it to fit relatively comfortably in the next size down heart cutter again, which is what I'm going to use for the petals. So I need to reduce this down quite a bit, and that's what you should use as a guide for how small you want your cane to be. And all you'll do is you'll just take a roller and just squish it down. You don't need to worry about the clay being too soft. Usually when you're making a cane, you want to leave it to rest before you reduce it, because you do encounter distortion otherwise. In this case, again, I'm encouraging the distortion, so I'm not too worried about that. And you'll just reduce it down. You can use both your fingers and the roller to do it, and just get that down to the size that you need. There we go. And then I'm just going to chop that in half, and you can see there how it looks. You've got some very fine striations, but not too much, and that should fit very comfortably within the heart cutter. Okay, now we're going to assemble the flower, and for that you're going to need some kind of mold that is going to create a flower pattern. And so I'm going to be using my petal mold number 1. I have 2 different petal molds. This one is the one that I'm going to use. Let me see if I can show that off. There we go. And basically they press together. You pop your piece in here, press together, squish, and you create your petal. So I've got those to the side and ready to go. However, I need to cut out 6 pieces of this so that I can cut my petals from that. So I'm going to cut out a few pieces, both because I want to make 2 flowers. So when I'm on a roll, I prefer to just cut out a couple of those. Then go and separate each of those because you don't want them sticking together. Okay, then grab one and just squish that down onto your tile so that it's stuck down and isn't going to stick in your cutter. And you don't really need to worry about fingerprints because that's not going to be a problem. And then cut that little heart out, remove the extra, and then from there, if I blade, there we go, just lift that up. Again, I'm not too worried about distortion. I do want to clean up the little fuzzy bits around the edge. This clay is still quite soft at this point, but again, not really a problem for what I'm doing right now. Before you move on to this next step, make sure that you have some paper lying off to the side so that you can put your squished petal there, because after that point I do want the clay to rest before I assemble the flower. Okay, and there we go, we've got that. Gonna bring these over and have that ready to go. Then you're gonna take this and just position it in a spot that you think will look nice. It needs to be the same spot each time, and I think that works. Then take this, flip it over, and give a quick press. And the silicone that I have here is nice and firm, so you don't need to worry about your clay being perfectly soft. It will pretty much impress whether it is firm or soft. There we go, that's your first little petal. Then you're going to make 6 of those, and then cut out another 6 from the even smaller heart and make 6 of those. So 6 petals per flower. Okay, and here are all the little pieces that I have. And for the center, what I'm going to use is just a tiny bit of sunbright yellow and a little bit of burnt umber. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with 3 petals on the inside, and I'm working on a piece of paper because I just find that a lot easier, and I'm just going to arrange them carefully, and I just want to make it so that that's nice and even, and then when I'm happy with how even that is, I'll just press. And I'm working on a piece of white so that I don't make a mess. And then I'm going to take 3 petals from here, and I am going to do much the same thing. Just bear with me while I do that. Very gently tap the center, and that's what's going to go together. And then I want to build the center, and the way that I do that, let me move these guys out the way, make you a pair of earrings, and that's why I have extra to make an extra pair of flowers. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll tiny little pieces, and those might even be a little too big. I'll just roll out forward the same size, and then I'm going to actually trim those in half and roll those into a pair as well. Okay, and then I also have one yellow one, that's that size. Now I'm going to take a ball tool, because that's going to be the easiest way to do this, because my fingers aren't going to be able to get in there. And I am going to assemble the middle separate from the main pieces, because I don't want to commit to anything too early, but I want a circle of 5 brown, like so, and then 1 yellow in the center. Okay, and then I'm going to take this in the center, press down, and find that spot, press that, and I'm going to grab the big size ball tool and press that. Okay, make sure everything is touching, remove that, and I do actually want these petals to be facing up. But I want them to be even when they're facing up. So just move things around, fuss with it a little bit, and then I will apply the center. Okay, then I'll grab that center piece, pop that there, gently press down on it to get it stuck. Okay. There we go. Okay, and there we go. They're both done. Pop those to the side, and now I'm going to make the other part of the earring. For that, you're going to want another piece of white clay, run out on the thick setting of your pasta machine, and just pop that on a piece of paper and give that a burnish just to make sure that everything's nice and flat and good to go. Okay, that should do. Okay, and for the next part I'm going to be using this silk screen as it is cherry blossom themed. And I'm actually going to cut this clay into 2 halves because I want to get 2 earrings out of it, but I want to get them on the good spots of the silk screen. So I'm just going to peel the little plastic backing off, and I want it so that I get the silk screen there and the silk screen over here. Just line that up so that it's in the right spot, and that way I will get a nice image on both sides. Well, not really both sides, but in the right spot. And before you do anything, just grab whatever cutter you're planning on using and make sure that you are happy with the positioning, and then you're good to go. I'm gonna move this just so that it's actually sitting over here, because I'm going to be using a couple of paints. I'm going to be using this burnt umber brown, just straight as it is, but I am going to mix up my own pink. So I'm going to use true red and white. And I'll just open up that red, and I only need a little bit of red, though I should put a bit down because I'm going to be using it on both pieces, so I don't want to end up too little paint, because I don't want to have to mix up the colour again, because then I probably won't end up with the same colour. Then just mix that through so you get a pink, and of course you can just use straight pink paint if you want. And I would advise maybe mixing this up beforehand, because you want it to match with your clay. And so before you make your clay, your pink clay colour, make sure that you know what pink you're going to be getting from your acrylic paint, because you don't want the two of them to be different. Like for instance, if I had used Primo Coral pink, the pinks would clash. So just make sure that you coordinate that so that they all both are as closely matching as possible. I'm going to add a little more red because that's too dark. Oh, it's too light, sorry. But just play around with it until you're happy with the colour. There we go, and I'm happy with that colour. Then I'm going to also pop down some of the brown, so I've got that open and ready to work with, because I'm not going to use a card to put the paint down. There we go, because usually you use a little card swipe, but not in this case. Okay, and you can see that, yep. Just going to move that over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move as quickly as possible, because I don't want the paint to dry on me. And I'm going to start with the pink first, and I'm going to dab that around. Does not need to be perfect. I can't really make it perfect because I have a very limited time window to work, but I'm going to pop the pink down on all the areas where it looks like cherry blossoms, and then in the other areas I'm going to put the brown down, like so. Then I'm going to lift that up to reveal the pattern, and I'm going to paint on the other piece, but only once I've cleaned this. Okay, then once your piece has dried, you can then see how that is going to look, and I quite like it. But what I want to do is I actually want to give it a light texture. So I'm just going to dust some cornstarch over the surface so that the clay is not sticky. And I'm going to bring over my texture of choice, which is this nice kind of fur pattern. And I'm also going to dust that off. Just bear with me while I grab some more cornstarch. And just dust that off. There we go. And I'm going to take that, and I'm actually going to move this, before I do anything, I'm going to move it onto a tile that I can bake. There we go. Because I'm not going to be able to pick this up. So just grab that, place that onto the tile. Okay, then grab this, place that down, give it a good roll, like so. And then I'm going to turn it so that the lines are going the opposite way and give it a good old roll again so that I get a crosshatch pattern, which I think will look quite nice. And it's a very, very light texture. I'm not sure how well the camera is going to be able to pick that up. Let me see if I can get it to show up. Hopefully you can see there that there is a pattern. But that's just going to give it a really light pattern. Then you're going to grab your cutter, and I'm going to actually just wet the sides just lightly to try to keep it from sticking, and find a spot that you like. I think that's a nice spot right there. And I'm going to cut, and I'm going to only cut halfway, like so. Dust it off again, because this is a little bit of a thin shape, and so it's one of the ones where it tends to stick. It shouldn't, but just taking the precautions. And then I will cut the rest of the way, and because it's a circle, you can even give it a little twist to release it from the clay and lift up, and you should end up with a nice clean piece. Then lift this up, and this isn't scraps. All you need to do is just grab a wet wipe or anything wet and just rub along the surface, and the paint will come off, and then you can just use it like regular white. And then I'm going to pick up this middle piece because I don't need that either. I just want this outside area. There we go. Okay, and there we go. And I've got the little blossom sitting over there. And that is what the earring's going to look like when it's done. This is going to be a stud, however I need to bake it first and then I'll attach the stud afterwards. So this is going to go into the oven for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. And also just remember to repeat that piece because we're making 2 earrings. So I can't show that because it's on a separate tile, but remember to make another one of these. Again, full hour at Primo's recommended temperature, and then you're good to go. Okay, and here is how the 2 pieces should look out of the oven. Now, before I assemble this, I do want to just say that it is going to be a fairly large earring. So I'm trying to make a statement earring here, but if you didn't want something quite as large, you can always separate out the pieces. This would create quite a nice earring all on its own, and this of course would make quite a nice piece on its own as well. You could attach a stud to the back and that would be quite nice, but I'm going to be putting the 2 pieces together. But I'm just saying that if you don't want them together or it is a little too heavy for what you're looking for, you can always separate out the components of today's project. But with that out of the way, you're going to want a pin drill, and I'm using one with a nice small drill bit. And all you're going to do is you're going to drill a hole in your piece. Drill it relatively close to the top of your piece so you can use a smaller jump ring. And this is where it's important to bake your clay properly. If your clay is baked correctly, it should be slightly flexible. The thicker the clay is, the less flexible it will be. But if I just show you this, you can see, hopefully you can see it, that bends a bit. That is completely normal and is a sign that your clay has been baked correctly and is strong. Okay, then once you've drilled the hole in that piece, you also need to drill holes in this one. And it's very important that your clay is baked correctly here. It should be slightly flexible, and it means that it can handle the pressure. Now, because these petals are curved and I do want to drill them, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to support them with my fingers while I get that drill point, so that I don't bend them too much while I'm drilling. Now I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom petal here, like so. And I'm also going to drill a hole at the top, again supporting it so that it doesn't bend too much. And don't drill too close to the top of the petal, you want to leave about 1mm between the hole and the top of your piece. And there we go. Then you're good to assemble. And I've got 3 jump rings for that and an ear wire. And the larger jump ring is for this piece because it's a little thicker and so it needs a larger jump ring. What you're going to do is open that up and pop the jump ring through. This is as small as I could get. There we go. Close that up. Grab another jump ring. Open that up and slip it on the bottom piece over here. There we go. And close that up, and then I'm going to use another smaller jump ring to just join those 2 pieces together, because I also want there to be a lot of movement between the 2 pieces. You could use just a sort of a larger jump ring and connect both pieces together with just the 1 jump ring, but as I said, I want there to be some movement, so instead I'm linking them together with 3 jump rings. There we go. And then there'll be a lot of movement there. Okay, and then with the last jump ring, I need 1 more jump ring, I'm going to link the ear wire. Okay, and that should be fairly easy. And that is pretty much it for the project. Again, as I said before, you can separate out the components to make smaller earrings. Another thing that I thought would look quite nice is if this was kind of made into a bracelet. You could have the donut as the centerpiece of the donut, of the bracelet, and then make a couple of flowers, linking them together very much like what I'm doing here, on either side of the donut, and you could have a bracelet like that. That would be quite nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please do let me know in the comments below, and if you liked it, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing, as I do videos like this every single day for the most part, and I'm sure you won't want to miss a single one. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue creating videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a join button just below this video where you can become a member, and I have all sorts of exclusive videos there that don't get posted on YouTube. Another way to support the channel is to check out my Etsy store, where I sell things like the cutters and the molds that I used in today's tutorial. There's a bunch of polymer clay centric tools and supplies over there, so if you want to check that out, that'd be greatly appreciated. And again, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.